It's become a grim, growing club of sorts. Survivors of school shootings, once considered an anomaly, school shootings have become what feels like a regular school year occurrence. From Columbine to Uvalde, the faces change, but the pain and trauma do not. Our Mireya Villarreal spoke with survivors and family members of victims of mass shootings about the day their life changed, but also the moments of happiness that do return in time.
Well, Keith, I'm here on the Virginia Tech campus, just over at the drill field. This is about from about an hour to an hour and a half ago.
I remember hearing what became gunshots really in the hallway the seconds, prior to the attack, and just how quickly the sound moved closer and closer to us.
To see many of these parents reunited with their children, crying, walking down the street, and the fact that you realize that some of those parents will never get that moment again, absolutely heartbreaking.
I was in New York, and I got a phone call from my husband.
Went in there, it was a beautiful day. It was sunny, it was upbeat, positive, and vibrant.
This is the Denver Rocky Mountain News, where the word simply is horror, and that really says it all. The Denver Post, high school massacre, Columbine bloodbath.
I was 14 years old sitting in math class, and we heard loud noises, and we thought that it was somebody banging on the lockers.
Just so many people really hurting and trying to process what happened here at Saugus High School.
We were all talking about the Spanish test we had later that day, arguing about who would do better, and then we heard a bang.
I was a bus driver that day. Technically, I was on the clock when everything happened. I remember rolling into the high school in my bus, and it was like fire, police, helicopters.
Sometimes we get these.
No matter how much time has passed, the heartbreak and lasting impact of a school shooting radiates through every community long after the last shot is fired. Memories ingrained in the minds of survivors.
In May 2018, my daughter, Kimberly Vaughn, she was one of the first kids that was shot, and she died like instantly. Shots were fired at 7:45, 7:50, and it was like 5 p.m. Yeah, so that's 10 hours.
4 years ago, Rhonda became a member of a club of grieving survivors that seems to be growing larger each year. The most notable in April of 1999.
My name is Missy Mendo. I am from Littleton, Colorado. I am a Columbine High School survivor, and it has been 23 years since my shooting.
My name is Christina Anderson Froling. I grew up on the East Coast in Virginia, and when I was 19 years old, I became one of the injured survivors of a school shooting that happened on our campus at Virginia Tech in April of 2007.
My name is Linda Beagle Shulman. My son is Scott Beagle, and we're talking about the mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, February 14, 2018.
My name is Mia Tretta. I live in Santa Clarita, California. I'm 17 years old, and when I was 15, I was shot in the Saugus High School shooting. It's been almost 3 years.
The club hosts a network of survivors embarking on a long journey towards healing, both physically and mentally.
The first few months after the shooting, I kept expecting that I was gonna pick her up from Girl Scout camp, and I just kept thinking, like, she'll be back like any day now, and that didn't happen.
I now know it was survivor's guilt. I felt like a hug from other survivors was totally different than a hug from somebody trying to console me. And specifically with my parents, I felt guilty in receiving those hugs.
In kind of normal day-to-day tasks, I think for me personally, the biggest impact that the Virginia Tech shooting has had is disrupting my sense of safety and security.
You are at a birthday party and someone accidentally pops a balloon and that brings you back, or a loud noise in a classroom when someone drops a book.
And what were you going through? And for that matter, what do you think Uvalde parents are going through?
I call it the blur, where your body physically hurts, because mine did. Like, my chest hurt for like months, where they said that poor man had a heart attack after he learned that his wife died. I remember feeling that, just like constant ache. You're crying all the time, you're not sleeping, You don't know if you're eating.
That's the blur.
That's the blur.
I had nightmares for a very long time. I still do.
Here I am 23 years later, and I still very much battle with sleep.
There were many mornings where I said, I don't want to do this anymore. Thinking about that I'm never going to see my son ever again, because I think that, as silly as it sounds, psychologically, I've still not swallowed that I'm never going to see my son again.
Something that I'm currently going through that I have a very, very hard time with is dropping my daughter off to school.
It's hard, but I also think it would be equally as hard, but in a different way, if I went to a new school, because no one understands.
It was difficult seeing empty desks, empty spaces, empty areas where somebody should have been standing and weren't with us anymore.
Like, I still am fearful that I'm gonna lose my other kid. And I'll be damned if I'm losing another kid.
You have that fear.
Oh yeah, constant fear.
Does it get better?
Yes and no. It gets more manageable, but it never goes away.
I think to students that are coming back or may have to face something in the future, it's that you are very brave to come back in the first place, and that you are embarking on, unfortunately, a very long journey.
One day, when you're thinking about your loved one, instead of the tears pouring out your eyes, you're going to smile. And when somebody shares something about your loved one, you're going to smile.
Be patient. It's okay to heal at a different pace than someone else.
One foot in front of the other, 1 minute at a time, 1 moment at a time, 1 day at a time. Keep going. Be strong. You are strong and you are resilient.
Our thanks to Mireya for that.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.